don't see any point to tell Kody anything. We're not married. He doesn't need to know. I think especially since we moved to Flagstaff, for me, have been really confusing years. When we left Vegas, when we were preparing to leave, he would say things to me like, this is going to be great for us. This will be a new chance at our relationship. Then we got to Flagstaff and he seemed very involved. He actually helped me find, a couple of the rentals.
So all I ever did was record the transactions in the checking account and send them to the accountant. And I always waited till the last minute, and I swear I had to have drink a whole bottle of wine because it always made me so frustrated.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, November 18th, 2024. I hope you're having a wonderful day. On Friday, I uploaded a video and we discussed how a former friend of Robyn Brown had accused Kody of heavy drinking and his heavy drinking leading to erratic behavior, a lot of verbal tongue lashings, and anger fueled rage and fights that were occurring in the family, a spiral of sorts. And now there's been two separate clips that have come out in the last few days from Sister Wives, confirming even more so this issue the family has with alcohol. Now, I want to be super clear. Alcohol is legal and anyone that wants to drink can, as long as they are 21 years old. The problem with this, with the Browns, is that they spent the past 15 years or 14 years on a television show, maybe not 14 years, maybe 12, until they actually started leaving. Like up until season 17, they all pretended like they didn't drink. Even Meri, who gets called out a lot on Instagram for appearing drunk when she goes live with her friend Jen, has denied that she ever drinks. All of them have on the show denied that they drink alcohol. And they have said they don't drink because of their faith. Now, I understand because of the way that they grew up and alcohol being a sin in their cult and the fact that they are taught to abstain, that they would want to appear like they are following the rules. They certainly wouldn't want to show the truth because then people wouldn't want to accept their lifestyle because they would know that they're hypocrites. But that's what this whole culture is built on: hypocrisy and lies and covering up the behavior that they judge others for doing. Most people wouldn't care if the Browns drank if they hadn't spent so many years condoning and condemning those that did. In fact, when Aspen got married, Kody was furious about the idea of an open bar. He was equally as unhappy when Madison also made the decision to have alcohol at her wedding. Here's a clip.
Like some of the family drinks, some of the family does not drink. Are you going to have a drink limit? Because we don't want it getting funky. Traditionally, Mormons don't drink alcohol. The real issue here, for me, isn't that a beer is bad, but being drunk is bad. Because about 2/3 of the people won't even drink.
Okay.
But that other third would get sloshed.
Numerous times over the years, Kody Brown has literally denied on the show that he does not drink. He has denied it repeatedly, and he has condemned those that get intoxicated and drink too much. He didn't want people drunk at Maddie's wedding. He also he said when Aspen and the family went to look at places, he said that he didn't like drunks. He's made so many comments about alcohol that one would think that a man making these kinds of comments would not drink. Now, I don't, again, care if you drink or not. But the fact here is that this family has spent a very long time claiming they don't drink. So imagine our surprise when we see Kody and there's photographs of him out to dinner when he's not on the show drinking beer, drinking with his wife, Robyn, buying beer at the grocery store, and filling his car with beer and liquor while running errands, seen in Flagstaff at pubs slamming beers. These are all situations that have occurred over the last several years. And we know he drinks, but he continues to deny it. On the show, they have made comments such as when Janelle and Kody got into a fight in season 17 about why he didn't want the boys over, is that he said he didn't want to be like a bunch of alcoholics that had a fight and then forgot about it the next day.
But my kids, they're renting an Airbnb. I don't think they're welcome.
I never said my kids weren't welcome.
If they apologize and they're kind of
No. I completely reversed that. I said, all we've got to do is be able to have a conversation so we're not sitting here in our house like a bunch of alcoholics that had a fight last night and forgot it happened.
When Garrison Brown passed away in March of 2024, his autopsy revealed that he died as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound and alcohol poisoning. At the time of his death, his blood alcohol level was 0.307, and then fluid taken from his body that was not blood, the level of alcohol was 0.370, meaning that at the time of his death, his blood alcohol level was likely higher than what it was post-mortem. He was very intoxicated. Christine Brown spoke about the fact about helping people that are struggling with thoughts of suicide and alcoholism. When she spoke to Entertainment Tonight, she's the first one of the Brown adults to bring this up in an interview.
I'd say let's leave the show, and instead, if someone is struggling, don't wait to call them. And if someone is really having a hard time with alcoholism, with mental issues, call them. It's not a text. Or you go visit them and you spend time with the people that you love. As the legacy needs to carry on, where we talk about suicide and we talk about things that are hard.
The culture they come from, it's very taboo to die by suicide. In fact, their church teaches that a death this way is the same as someone that actually takes the life of someone else, equivalent. And so people that die this way within this culture, sometimes their deaths are completely swept under the rug. And some people will view them as sinners, people that committed a crime. They will liken what Garrison did to a criminal act. That's what's taught in the AUB. So speaking about this for the family is going to be hard because that is ingrained in them. And so for Christine to say this is amazing. To actually say we need to talk about suicide, we need to talk about alcoholism to honor his legacy. So Christine is on the forefront here, being very open. Now, for whatever reason, on the show, producers consistently leave out tidbits about drinking and have covered up a lot of the behavior of this family. For instance, just this past week, the last episode that aired the week before on November 10th didn't include a clip of Janelle admitting to drinking a bottle of wine every time she did the taxes or the finances.
All I ever did was record the transactions in the checking account and send them to the account. And I always waited till the last minute, and I swear I had to have a whole bottle of wine because it always made me so frustrated the way that the money was spent. Kody tends to attack people to others in what matters. So with Christine, her physical appearance and how she looks, she's very vulnerable. So Kody's saying, oh, I was never attracted to you. I care very much about financial security. So he's now trying to blame all of this mess on me.
Janelle, for years, has stated that she doesn't drink alcohol at all. Other people in the family have admitted to drinking here and there, but Janelle has always maintained that she doesn't drink. And I guess I'm not surprised that she drinks, but I'm just surprised at how she just loosely admits this after spending so many years denying that she drank, and then admitting that Kody's financial mismanagement and his spending and his lack of saving and the exorbitant amounts of money he was spending caused her so much stress that she drank, and she would drink a whole bottle of wine. I don't know about you, but if I drink a whole bottle of wine, I'm wasted. And that's why I don't drink a whole bottle of wine. And what surprises me here is that she's saying that the stress that this did to her caused her to drink. And drinking to cope with stress is actually not a healthy approach to drinking at all. And this is honestly what happens when it comes to these groups, because they don't drink at all. They completely abstain. They don't know what moderation is. at all. And then they use these alcohol or drugs as a coping mechanism to manage their stress or their fears or their depression or the anxiety. And then that just ends up making things worse. So Janelle's admitting this. And for whatever reason, this isn't a part of the regular episode. It's in a More to Love episode that aired on Saturday. I don't know why the editors here are always leaving out the truth. I think if this family was way more honest about their actual struggles, they would be able to touch a lot more people. Their entire faith was built on righteousness and doing the right thing and following the rules and obeying the commandments. And drinking is a huge sin. In the AUB, a man that drinks excessively and is addicted in any capacity to any substance, whether alcohol or drugs, that's grounds for a release. And wives that drink, it's even more taboo and condemned. So it's very hidden, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And because they hide it and because they're ashamed of it and there's so much shame about it, it causes people to drink even more and develop unhealthy relationships with alcohol. And then you have to remember they also grow up not believing that you should take medications to manage your mental health issues. So it spirals. I think if they actually replaced Kody is struggling with Kody was drinking, people would understand better why he's such a maniac. Now, in another clip from this past week, Meri tells her friends about how she and Kody were boozy on an anniversary. And this led to something that happened that made her believe they were getting back together.
Went to the Grand Canyon, we took some pictures, we had a lot of fun, we had some beverages, and he's like, cheers to a new beginning. Like he said, cheers to a new beginning. And I'm like, okay, awesome, this is awesome. He was involved and he was interested. And then he would stay away for a really long time from him. He would never call. There's just a lot of things that he says and does that have been really, really confusing to me over the years, which also is why I stayed with him for so long.
Meri Brown has very much denied ever drinking alcohol. She has had several years now where she has done these events on her Instagram called Friday Nights with Friends. And I don't know if she's still doing them anymore. But for a long time, she would go on with her friend Jen. She would be drinking from this big cup. And she said it was always water. But she, a lot of times, would be slurring her words, acting really, really giggly and out of control, making not a lot of sense. And so fans would start to ask her, like, are you drinking? Are you drunk? What's going on here? And she always said she didn't drink. I don't drink. It's water. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol. This is something she has vehemently denied for years. And it's very weird to me that here she is with her friends now that she's left Kody, and she's very clearly uncomfortable. And she says that she and Kody went to the Grand Canyon. They had a really nice time. They took some pictures and then had beverages. And then she starts laughing, which she has said she laughs sometimes when she's uncomfortable. So maybe she's uncomfortable sharing this. Maybe she knows she's filmed. I don't know. But it sounds like their anniversary got boozy and they toasted to a new beginning. And she felt like that was going to mean that they were going to work things out. Now, I don't know if this toasting to a new beginning is code for they had drunk sex. And so that's why she felt like they were getting together, like they might be getting back together. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there had been sex that we didn't know about. Because why else would this woman hang on for so long if he wasn't feeding her some kind of scraps, giving her some little crumbs, a little bit of affection? And what better way to hook up with your ex-wife that you say all the time you can't stand is when you're drunk. If you're inebriated, you say a whole lot of stuff you might not mean. You might be loose with your lips. You might feel romantic. You might want to get back together with someone. And then you sober up and you're like, why the hell did I do that? I don't want this. This is insane. I didn't mean that. But they're clearly drinking. And Kody's obviously not remembering what he says when he's drunk. His lack of memory is also very clear when he's presented with things that he said and he can't remember what he said, which begs the question is when he's on the couch, is he wasted? And so he doesn't remember the crap that comes out of his mouth?
8 years. Meri and I would travel together. We would hang out, but we were still not functioning as a married couple. We were making the drive together. I don't think we slept in the same bed for 8 years. I think we'd go to a hotel and sleep in different beds.
Kody told me at one of our conversations, Meri, I decided this 2 years ago.
Decided what?
That he wasn't going to move forward with fixing our marriage relationship.
Now, this is just my opinion, and you can do with it what you want. But I think that Kody is lying when he says that he and Meri never shared a bed in 8 years. Because he said, I think we would travel together and we didn't even share the same bed. I don't believe that. If you have to say, I think, then there's a possibility it happened. You would remember if you slept in the same bed with your wife or your ex-wife. That would not go away unless you're drunk and can't remember. But he said, I think we never slept in the same bed. He says this after Meri says they have this boozy interaction and he wants a new beginning. He's the one that brings up bed, not Meri, right? He brings up the bed. So I do think there was a hookup and he's trying to deny it. But I think he's denying these things because I think, and you can hear me out on this, I truly believe that Kody made Robyn believe that he wasn't intimate with any of his other wives. I think that Kody told Robyn that he was only ever intimate with her and that he wasn't intimate with the others. And their faith would have stated that he wasn't allowed to have intimacy with any of the wives that were no longer having children. The AUB teaches that sex for other means than any other means than procreation is prohibited. And if you're going to have the most celestial marriage, you don't have sex unless you're going to try to have a baby. And so once a woman is either done trying to have a child or she reaches menopause and she can't have a child, sex with that woman is supposed to end, which is why as the men age, the women have to get younger and younger and younger because their only means to having sex is with someone that can procreate. Otherwise, it's sinful. So I think Kody lies and denies that he's having sex with any of these women because it's against their religion. And it's just, that's why this whole thing is just fucked up. Yep, I said it. I said fucked up. If you have to lie about basic things like, I didn't have sex with my wife because my church leaders told me not to, and I don't drink alcohol because my church leaders told me I can't, and you base your whole show on we're pious, righteous people, and then behind the scenes, you're having sex, you're drinking, you're getting boozy, you're having huge fights. Janelle's at her house feeling horrible the way that Kody's pilfering through money, that she's so stressed out about the toll it's taking on her that she's resorting to drinking a bottle of wine. And then meanwhile, Kody's telling everyone that the reason why they're in such financial straits is because it's Janelle's fault. Isn't that convenient? So Janelle's resorting to drinking. Kody clearly is drinking. He's also clearly throwing sex towards Meri and throwing her a bone, his pencil, every once in a while. And that was enough to give her hope. And then has the audacity a couple years later to say to her, I've been actually deciding that I wasn't going to get back together with you for 2 years. Kody likes to act like sex is so righteous to him because that's what their faith says. But I don't believe that was how it was in practice. I just want this family to stop lying and be honest. Stop dancing around the topics. Stop pretending things. And Kody, stop pretending like you didn't have sex with these women. Robyn, if she was very religious, would have been against Kody having sex with any of the wives that were no longer procreating. She would have thought it was sinful if Kody was having sex with women that could not bear children. And that's why Robyn delayed her own fertility for such a long time, because she knew that if she stopped trying to have kids, that her sex life would dry up if they were going to go off their religion, which now clearly that's all out of all out of they've thrown that out. That's gone. So then what are they doing? Were they just acting like they were religious, or were they ashamed about what they had become? And then it just all became for profit. But frankly, none of this shocks me. And I think they need to stop lying and protecting polygamy and show the truth that there is a lot of drinking and there's a lot of substance use issues in these cultures because of the lack of education around using substances responsibly the lack of mental health care, the lack of utilizing medication to help with mental illness, and a lot of turning to drink or drugs to deal with the stress or the mental health issues or the pain. So what are your thoughts about all of this? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, everyone.